Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we would look at something a little bit different, a little bit more fun, and that is my 5 bestest, most favouriteest Napoleonic figure sets that aren't from the Perry brothers. Now the reason for this is because Perry Miniatures obviously do an absolutely fantastic range of figures, and I can, and indeed I will, do an entire separate episode on just Perry figures. But today I thought we would just look at different manufacturers, maybe some that you've never heard of before, or maybe some sets that you didn't realise manufacturers did, something that might be a little bit off the standard, and hopefully it'll give you guys some inspiration to look around at different manufacturers for when you're getting your own armies together. Now I should say before we go any further, there's a couple of caveats here. The first one is that I'm not including vignettes in this. There's going to be a separate video when I talk about my favourite vignettes, because there's loads of them out there. And secondly, it's for figures that can be used in-game, so civilians and things like that would only be included if they weren't vignettes and they could be added to, say, a command base or something like that. As it is, I don't actually think I've got any civilians in this list, but I just wanted to put that out there. So in no particular order, because they're all referring to different things, my first favourite set I want to talk about today is from Front Rank, and it is a reinforcement pack. And it's their Highlanders advancing in full dress. The code for that one is BNRPK27. Now the reason I like this one so much is the officers are all in kilts now when they're in their campaign dress, as is probably the case in reality. They're in trousers, but here they're in kilts, and I like my troops to look their best for the enemy. Now of particular note in these figures, I really like the officer. I like how he's advancing, looking over to his left, making sure that the line's nice and dressed. I really like the colour sergeant. He's doing the same thing, but he's looking the other way. He's got his spear, sorry, not his halberd. He's got his spear, his spontoon at shoulder arms, and he's looking across it to make sure that the line's nice and straight. And there's one more figure that I particularly want to single out for particular praise here, and that is the bagpiper. He looks really, really nice. The way that he's holding the drone, I'm not entirely sure about bagpipe terminology. I think the pipe that you blow into is called the drone. The way he's holding that near the bag, leaning slightly forward, it really looks like he's about to start playing. You know, I can just imagine the officer has raised his sword, he's issued the order to advance, and then the bagpiper, he's just getting to blow that first breath to inflate the bag so he can start skirling the pipes. An absolutely lovely set. I really, really like these guys. You can get them, as I say, in the officers with trousers, but I prefer the kilted version. So the first one is the Front Rank British Highland Command advancing in full dress. For my second favourite pack of all time, again, these are in no particular order, we go down under and we go to Eureka Miniatures, which is an Australian company, and we're looking at their 1812 Saxon Garde du Corps Trooper Charging. Now, obviously, it's a regiment, so any of the figures, the officers as well, really, really nice set. What I particularly like about these is the animation on them. They're really leaning forward over that horse's neck, sabre outstretched with a straight arm. They look absolutely fantastic. I'll be honest with you, I could have picked any of the Eureka Saxon Cavalry. They're all nice. The ones at rest are nice. The von Zwistow Cuirassiers, really nice as well. They're basically the same dollies. They've just got cuirassiers on. Now, one thing that I particularly like about the Eureka Saxons are their standard bearers. They're holding like lancers, which is what they used to have. It was very weird. But really, really nice. If I had one criticism, it's that the standard bearer is walking while the rest of the battalion, or sorry, the rest of the regiment is charging. So, a bit of an issue there. But apart from that, really, really, that as it comes on its own, 100 NAP 13 is the code. 1812 Saxon Garde du Corps Trooper Charging. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we're going to stick with cavalry as we go to my third favourite pick. Now this is from a Russian company, Commissar Miniatures. Now I did an unboxing of these on a live stream, and we are looking at their RIA 15 Liebguard, so Lifeguard Cossack Regiment Command. Absolutely gorgeous. You get 2 officers in this set. One who's charging with his sabre pointed downwards, and the other one who's ordering his men forward. There's a really nice trumpeter in there as well. His horse is looking particularly frisky. He's not perhaps charging, but he's at the trot. Maybe he's blowing his trumpet, so the regiment then moves into the charge. Really, really nice. I love the Busbies that they've sculpted. They're quite small. They're on the smaller range of figures, but I don't necessarily mind that so much. They are Guard, but they are Guard Cossacks after all. And, they were little smaller than, a Russian would be. If you want to count them as a separate people, I'm sure the Cossacks would. So I don't mind the size difference. It's not too bad, but it's the animation that I really, really like. The sabre pointing down really follows that officer's arm. Absolutely phenomenal. The one with it raised up in the air, and the shouting face. He's looking off to his left. I can imagine him shouting, "Hoorah!" and ordering his troops forward, ready to charge the French Carabineers. They seem to charge quite a lot. They seem to defeat them pretty much all the time as well. So I can see some very scared French Carabineers on the other end of that charge. A really, really nice set. A manufacturer that definitely isn't very well known in this country, but I think it's definitely worth a visit. Really good. That's Commissar Miniatures. And I should say as well, actually, I will be putting links to all these figures in the comments down below. Now for the 4th one, this is going to be a bit niche, this one. I think there's going to be some people who are a bit like, okay. And it's from Brigade Games, and the code is, so it's an American company, and the code is BG-NMO020, and that's Albanian Infantry. Now, anyone who's seen my Muhammad Ali Pasha video will know how much I love me some Bashi Basouks, some Albanians. And this is a really, really nice set. What I really like about them is that they look mean and confident. And that's exactly what the Bashi Basouks were. They were irregular soldiers, but they were supremely confident in their abilities as an elite fighting force. And you know what? They absolutely should have been. They were top class. I really like the Albanian traditional dress that they're wearing with the sabres hanging from their belts. It's kind of weird. It's almost like a cavalry way that they hang. So they're not directly attached to the belts like you might think with infantry, but they hang down in front. So really nice. One of them's got it tucked into his band while he's firing his musket or his jezail. And the one that's the real standout figure from this set is the one in the middle. He's the one with the musket back across his shoulders. He looks so confident, so nonchalant. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that he's out of range of the enemy. When they come into range, he's going to slowly bring that musket back over his head, take up an aim shot, and he's going to black the officer of the unit that's coming towards him. Really, really like that figure. I love the details on that Albanian national dress that they've got on. All the different they have sort of like clans in Albania, and each clan would have their own distinctive dress. But no, a great set. Absolutely oozes character. Absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. Now I'm going to cheat slightly for the last one because I'm going to have an honourable mention in there as well. But this is the last of my top 5. And it is from Foundry Miniatures. Now, we don't talk about Wargames Foundry that often on this channel, which is a shame because they do a really nice range of figures. And in fact, I'm putting together a bit of a force using them. My Italians are made up of Foundry figures. But I'm going to go back to the cavalry again, and we're looking at FN 291 Imperial Guard Chasseur à Cheval Command. Now, let's be honest, the trumpeter, he's quite nice. The standard bearer, he's all right. He's whatever. He's a standard bearer. The trumpeter's nice. I like how he's at rest. It's a bit weird that the 3 figures are all doing different things. So the trumpeter's stood. The standard bearer is sort of slightly walking a little bit. But we're all about the 3rd figure, the command figure, because it's just sublime. It's based on the famous painting, The Charging Chasseur, that's currently on display in the Louvre by Theodore Géricault. He also painted The Raft of the Medusa, which is also one of my favourite paintings. I absolutely love that painting as well. But it's a huzzah, his horse rearing up, and the officer looking around behind him, his sword swept behind him, ready for action. It's an absolutely beautiful figure. I think it's probably a peri-sculpt, but it really captures the painting rather than it is a direct copy of the painting. The uniform's quite different, the expression, the positioning of the sword, things like that. But it's absolutely gorgeous. We're all about that figure in this set. It's phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And finally, I'm going to have an honourable mention, and that's going to be from Warlord Games. I might do a series on Warlord Games minis, the ones that I like. But this is going to be an honourable mention for now, and it's the Napoleonic British rocket bombarding frame. Again, it's something a little bit different. Really, really nice. You've got the frame with the cannon wheels on there and like the ladder. And there's a guy climbing the ladder and he's positioning the rockets in place, ready for them to fire. It's an artillery piece. You just use it as a rocket. But it's really, really nice. There's another one where he's kneeling down, firing a rocket. And the horse is sort of looking at him as if he's going like, But this is a lovely, lovely model. I've got him. I use him as a rocket when I'm not banned from using it. But yeah, really good. Again, some British horse artillery. Always look great in the uniform. But it's the fact that, I mean, this is almost like a vignette. Because it's just showing a little, it tells a story in of itself. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love that model. And cannot recommend it highly enough. So there we go. That's my 5 plus an honourable mention of my favourite miniature sets. Now, you know, I snuck in the honourable mention because realistically, in that last one from Wargames Foundry, it was only really the officer, the Hussar officer, that I thought was really nice. Although I do have the trumpeter, and I'm going to be painting him up soon to go on a command base. But by and large, I think that that's it for my top 5. Please let me know in the comments down below what your top 5, or maybe even just top 3 of your sets are. As I said, they were in no particular order, but we've gone with Front Rank, we've gone with Commissar Miniatures, we've gone with Brigade Games, we've gone with Wargames Foundry. So we've got a good range of miniatures there from across the world as well. I'm aware that I'm over time, so I just want to say thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.